Okay.
It looks like we have Ernest and George for
Okay.
round 2.
So we're getting right into round 2.
Yep.
Ernest, again, one of our regulars, and then George.
George is new, I think. This is the
Yep.
first time he's going to be on our stream. But we welcome him on here.
We have not seen either of these players' decks.
No, not at all.
So it'll be interesting to see what they got, see what kind of bombs we have, like Palladium Wars.
Yeah, I mean, that it's awesome when you can get an Elder Dragon.
Oh, very good.
I think if you get any of the Elder Dragons, I think you just play them.
I don't know about Chromium.
Chromium? No, I think you play Chromium. Did you just not like Chromium because he's Esper?
I just wanted to fire you up.
Oh my god, Chromium is so good! He's a 7/7 with Flash Flying and can become a Hexproof human.
If you remember to give him Flash.
Oh my god, I messed that up twice.
No, I messed it up.
I did too. Well, I messed it up
so
twice.
Easy to
it's so easy to forget. I did that online twice, and I just wanted to like crawl into a hole. I was like, could have won this game. Instead, I just did it.
Right?
It's rough.
Wah,
Wah, wah, yeah. I'm interested to see what kind of decks they're going to pull up here. Ooh, I like our sealed logo.
Jake getting a little creative over there.
Yep.
He had to make sure that it said sealed and not draft earlier. Because sometimes he forgets to update it. He remembered tonight though. So, Jake, for that, we thank you. So it looks like players still shuffling it up. And then once they settle on their opening hands, we'll go ahead and get into that game. Ernest keeping the Pokemon sleeves. Likes to keep us slightly on edge. So, alright, looks like, I don't know, I'm going to let them decide who wins the roll. And then they'll get on with the game. Oh, it looks like they rolled the same. So we got 8 to 7. Ernest, I'm guessing, will be on the play. He might be on the draw, I don't know, but I'm guessing play because that's what I would do. This is our first game of round 2. We're doing 3 rounds of sealed. We watched Tom and Mark build their decks earlier. We got to watch Tom play last round. This time, we're watching Ernest and George. So, if you guys are watching us from home, we appreciate you being here with us. Myself, Andy, and I've got Alex here with me also, helping me host. Usually the conversation is a little bit better, but he had to step out for a second. And but once he gets back, it won't be this weird me talking to myself. If you're at home watching, I'll talk to you. If you don't want to talk, that's okay too. I'm just going to keep rambling on until we got some actual game to comment on, because that's what I'm here to do. Alright, looks like George wants to show us his hand. Hi, Other Realms. Good to see you, buddy. So we got 3 lands. Ether Shield Artificer, Leonin, Diamond Mare, and a Gearsmith Guardian. Alright, so Gearsmith Guardian likes blue creatures, but it's also just a value artifact creature. I was starting to get lonely, Other Realms. It's nice to hear you out there. We got 5 mana for Ernest, Druid of the Cowl, and a Johnny's Welcome. So I'm hoping he has a good bear in that deck. Good bear by the name of a Johnny Primate, but we'll see. Ernest on the play, as I expected. The Johnny's Welcome entering the battlefield already, so he's going to gain 1 life on each of his upkeeps, I believe. Unless that's the one where he gains life when a creature enters the battlefield, which is what I'm starting to think it is. I'm looking through my list to double check. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it gains life. Okay. So it's like a Soul Sister on an enchantment. You're always there, huh? Always watching? Alright, we have the Leonin Vanguard 1/1. Tax as a 2 power. Coming out of George. Druid of the Cowl for Ernest, which is going to gain him 1 life. Now we'll go to George's turn. He should be attacking, I believe, here. Looks like Gown Cavalry. He'll play the Diamond Mare. Not sure if he's naming white or black. And then Leonin Vanguard. If he controls 3 or more creatures, gets +1/+1 until the end of his turn, and he gains 1 life. So right now it's still just a 1/1. Does not trade well against that Druid of the Cowl. If he's able to get a third creature down, though, it's good to attack. All right, there's land number 3. He has a Gallant Cavalry in hand, but that costs 4. And it looks like no other creatures to play. So he passes back. Land for Ernest. That's a lot of lands in his hand. That's a whole lot of lands in his hand. Hopefully he's got some payoff spells coming out. He's just got to draw to them. And our judge, Ben, with the note, letting us know that George chose white for the Diamond Mare. There's creature number 3, a Diregraph Ghoul, which comes in tapped. It's 2/2 for 1 mana. So that's like a better bear, maybe? I don't know. But now he's attacking for 2. Druid of the Cowl can block, but by attacking he gains 1 life. Actually, he gains a life even if it doesn't attack. But it is a 2/2 attacking. He's got 2 mana up. So he is representing some combat spells. If Ernest is willing to block. Looks like Ernest considering blocking. Haven't seen any commitment yet. So this is an attack for 2. Druid of the Cowl is a 1/3, so
favorable blocks there.
Favorable blocks. Now something like Infernal Scarring would be a good combat trick.
Yep. +2/+0 returns your creature if it dies at the end of turn. Tapped, however. I think the Diamond Mare. Oh, that's right. Diamond Mare is white.
Alex, welcome back. It was starting to get weird.
That's okay.
I'm just saying.
I like the weird.
No, it was a weird.
I got a little locked out there, but I'm back in.
Well, we can't just let anybody in here.
That's true.
You know, that'll be chaos. So it looks like we're still on the attack step. There was an attack from Leonin Vanguard.
Yep, the Leonin
no life
Vanguard's
totals have changed.
2/2?
It's a 2/2 right now.
And George
should have gained a life. He's up to 21.
George should be at 21. And he has two 2/2s coming in, basically, right?
No, he just played the Diregraph Ghoul.
Oh, okay.
So that enters tapped.
Yep.
So it looks like we're getting a block from the Druid.
No worries.
And George says, okay, I got no tricks.
Yep. They bounce off.
Now, the Leonin Vanguard, he gains 1 life even if it doesn't attack.
Yes. It just gets +1/+1, and
right.
He gains a life. It's good to trigger stuff like a Johnny Pridemate or anything that has a life gain.
Now, on Ernest's side, we saw a Johnny Welcome came down turn 1.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he has the Good Bear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing. His hand is 4 lands.
Okay.
So he doesn't have it right now, but...
So he currently has 4 lands in hand?
He has a lot of lands in hand.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, George has a handful of action.
A lot of vengeance. Double take vengeance, Gallant Cavalry, Epic Hero Blood. What's that?
Gearsmith Guardian.
That's the one that if you have blue, I believe.
Yes.
It turns a 3/5 into a 5/5, which is really efficient for 5 generic mana. In a mono blue deck, I love that card.
And you also had the Ether Shield Artificer, which goes well with both the Diamond Mare and the Guardian.
Yep.
So Ernest flooded on lands.
Yep.
Druid adding an extra mana, so he's super flooded.
He's ready to cast any large spell at this point. Colossal Dreadmaw, come on down. Looks like George. The interesting thing is George really doesn't have a way to use either of his take vengeances because Ernest isn't crashing in.
Yeah.
There's no
so
good
here comes
targets.
the Artificer, which is going to make it a 3/5 Diamond Mare indestructible.
It looks like he's coming in with everybody.
It's
because
a swing for 7.
Yeah, and he doesn't necessarily fear Ernest's board.
No. Ernest has plenty of mana, but just the 1
Yeah.
creature. So.
And we don't know if he has a combat trick or anything, but George is willing to find out.
The fact that his cards are on the table
Oh,
leads me to believe that
yeah,
he's not happy with his hand. So recollect is definitely not what he's looking to find right now.
Yep. Nothing to recollect.
May as well play a land. Pass him back, and it looks like I would think George attacks again.
Yeah. So a lot
Nothing's
of
really
core set
changed.
kind of interactions. Oh, it looks like Ernest is.
Ernest has had enough.
Yeah, he's scooping it up.
It can be really frustrating.
Yeah. Having 11 lands and a recollect does not a deck make.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just draw the wrong part of your deck. In
Yep.
that case, Ernest drew the wrong part of his deck.
Yeah, it happens. Either getting flooded or getting, kind of tight screwed
Yeah.
is rough.
Yep. So they're going to shuffle up. Hopefully, game 2 will have more of a fair game.
Yep.
But George definitely taking advantage of the window he was given.
Yeah, one of the things that Magic will teach you is that if you curve out, you can actually just do very well.
Yeah.
Core set is a perfect example of this because if you curve out and your opponent doesn't curve out, the natural advantage you gain is pretty high.
That's right.
It might not be the same in other sets because there's comeback mechanics and this sort of thing, but core set is like nuts and bolts Magic. So I have more creatures than you for more turns, so I'll probably do more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game 2, let's see if anything changes in their game plan. I don't think either of them have a heavy sideboard plan right now.
Well, we haven't seen much. We saw a ton of mana from Ernest, which leads me to think that he might have some heavy
hitters, sure.
Some big creatures. Don't know what to draft curve. That's pretty accurate, Other Realms.
Yeah.
So draft stuff to fill your curve. Make sure you're getting your creatures. You want a few tricks.
And the same for sealed too. Build yourself a curve.
Yep.
You don't always have to. The thing about sealed versus draft is you don't always have to have a lot of ones on the curve. I think you'd rather have more sixes than ones.
You can put combat tricks at 1.
Yeah, but you don't want like one cost creatures. You'd rather have 4, 5, 6 cost creatures because you're more likely to get them in sealed than in draft.
One of the early decks that did really good in Magic was Slig Red.
Yeah.
Or I believe it's pronounced Slig Red. It's SLIGH. But that deck, it took a whole bunch of cards that everybody had already decided were junk.
Right.
There's a 2/2 Orc that nobody liked. It was 3 mana 2/2, so even worse than a bear.
Wow.
But he put it in there and was able to cast the spells on curve. So that was one of the earliest decks that actually followed a curve where you have a center part where most of your action spells are, but you have spells that lead up to it.
Yep.
And at the top end of the curve. And it did very well for him. It basically redefined how people looked at building decks.
Let's take a look. Both players starting with a fresh 7.
So I'm seeing more spells on Ernest's side.
Yep.
So apparently he did not build his deck with 90% land.
Hard to win with a 90% land deck unless you're playing lands.
Yeah. So Gallant Cavalry, Shield Mare,
Take Vengeance,
and 4 lands.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Yep, that's solid. This is George's hand here.
No, we did not see black on Ernest's side, so Shield Mare not going to get that benefit.
Has 4 lands, the Basilisk, Cavalry, and Mighty Leap. Same good hand. Decent.
Yeah. Both very playable hands.
Yep.
So this should be a good game. So we have a Plains from Ernest, probably a Plains from George.
Yep. Interesting enough, I think the Basilisk will be good to deal with stuff like Diamond Mare or anything that scales up coming in, but also bad in the sense that when both Gallant Cavalries come out, they're just going to die to the vanilla side of the Bears.
Right. Now you were saying though, there's a lot of stuff in 2019 that just bounces off a 2/2.
Yep.
It doesn't kill it, but it clogs the ground.
A 1/3
Daggerback gets around that.
Yep.
Now George did not play the Diamond Mare on turn 2.
He did not.
Which is interesting to me because it seemed like a viable plan.
Yeah.
Maybe he's waiting to see what his hand fills up with as far as colors. I don't know.
Is that a Neonate?
That would be the 0/3 Vampire Neonate.
Okay.
Tap, 2 mana. Ernest loses 1, George gains 1.
He still decides to hold on to the Diamond Mare. Maybe he's thinking that he wants to use it with a specific color, or he wants to use it when he has the Artificer in hand.
There's the Gallant Cavalry, so we'll get a 2/2 knight.
Yep.
It's a nice knight token. That's one of Ernest.
That's Ernest's
He
own
started
knight
making his
token.
own knights,
Yep.
or own tokens, and looking really good.
Basilisk can crash in here. Normally, like we said, a 2/2 doesn't get through that 0/3 neonate for 1, but because this has Death Touch, George has to let it through. Yeah. George himself can probably, if he has enough land here, play his own Gallant Cavalry to gum up the board significantly.
I would not be surprised to see that.
Yep.
And then he can actually trade with the Daggerback and not feel too bad about it.
Well, looks like he wants to play...
Take Vengeance.
Oh, okay. Taking care of the Basilisk itself.
That's a good answer for the Death Touch.
Yep. It's efficient, sorcery speed, 2 for 2. 2 mana for 2 mana. He's happy with that trade.
He still has that Diamond Mare.
Yep. Might be considering playing it now, but no.
Can't tell what that card that Ernest just drew was.
Can't tell just yet either, but I'm sure we'll find out here shortly. Oh, there he plays it. Ah, Bad Bear. Bad Bear. Bad Bear. I can already see it. Bad Bear.
That would be the Greenwood Sentinel, 2 mana, 2/2 Vigilance. That sounds a lot like my friend.
Yes.
The Alaborn Grenadier.
But in green and without double colors. Looks like Ernest is going to come in with his 2 knights, giving one of them a Mighty Leap. Coming in for 6.
Now, Mighty Leap being an instant, he could have waited to see what's getting blocked.
I would have just held it.
Looks like he's trying to end the game fast. He was not happy with game 1.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about that is, like you said, he could have used it on the creature that was blocked by the Vampire Neonate, taking out the Neonate, and then in this situation, the Neonate tapping to drain 1 makes it so that it's only a net attack for 3.
Yeah.
So basically, he lost quite a bit of value off his Mighty Leap there.
And that to me goes to, if it says an instant, just wait.
Yeah.
You want to cast it, but you know there's going to be a time later when you want to cast it more. Just wait. So 3 mana.
Shield Mare gains 3 life coming in. So George should go up to 18 here.
So he just negated most of that attack right there.
All of that damage. And now the Shield Mare blocks favorably because it's a 2/3. The Shield Mare will block favorably against both those knights. Ernest might have wanted to keep the Mighty Leap for this specific situation where he could no longer attack favorably, and the Mighty Leap would have taken out the Shield Mare.
He even could have done it on his elf, who's got Vigilance.
Yep. All of that is reasons why you should not necessarily just use your combat tricks willy-nilly, as it were.
Okay, now he's got a Gaspar Twins and a Knight's Pledge. Gaspar Twins
is a 7/7 trample, can block more than 1 creature, but it costs 7. Which
he's at 6.
He's at 6. The Knightly Valor will allow him to pump his creature +2/+2. We'll see which one he feels like pumping up. All of them have Vigilance.
They're
basically
all Vigilance.
2/2 Vigilant creatures. He decides to take the Bad Bear and make it a Better Bear. Now it's a 4/4 Better Bear with a Vigilance.
You know what would make that bear the bestest bear?
What would make it the bestest bear?
If it had a holster.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bear with a boomstick. This is my boomstick.
Says 2 2/2s and a 4/4 all attacking.
Yeah. Is Ernest coming in with the other 2/2s as well?
He is. They're all in the red zone.
So it looks like he's trading off one of his 2/2s.
He is representing a combat trick.
Yep. This would be great if he had Mighty Leap.
Unfortunately, he just loses
in for
his
6,
token.
and George goes to 12.
And then end of turn, drain for 1.
Yep.
Alright, so back to George's turn. I'm thinking George pretty happy sitting on defense right now.
Yeah, because if I recall, you should still have another Take Vengeance.
Well, I see
Oh,
a
no.
Leonin. I see the
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Gallant
The
Cavalry, the Sky Marcher.
construct, a knight.
Oh, that's a Knight of the Tusk. Okay, never mind. So he has Knight of the Tusk, Gallant Cavalry, the Guardian, the 3/5 Guardian, the Leonin 1/1, and the Draining Sky Marcher. The Sky Marcher is actually going to end up doing quite a bit of, will cause quite a bit of trouble for Ernest because I don't think
We
he
haven't
has a
seen
ton of
any flying
flyers.
yet.
Yeah,
Haven't seen anything. Of course, game one we didn't see much out of Ernest deck other than planes.
that's true.
So looks like we're going to get the extra
Gallant Cavalry.
knight off the Gallant.
Yep. So now we're going to have 4 on the board there. Interestingly enough, this now makes a wall for George that Ernest can't really get through easily.
Yeah, there's no good trade.
Yeah.
That will get Ernest through.
Yep.
Now, when he plays the 7/7 Gaspar twins,
it's still not even that great because
it's not great, but he can take multiple creatures down with it.
He can take 3 usually in general.
Yeah.
With the 7/7, he's probably good to take 3 creatures. But George, well, he picked up the land, so he can play it. So okay, if Ernest is going to attack here this turn, I would attack now and then play that after because you could clear some of the creatures out of the way.
That's been the recurrent theme.
Yeah,
round 1 and this round.
Yeah.
So
it's killing me, Andy.
I agree 100%. Alex.
It's killing me.
I agree. But we're here.
That's true.
We're watching the game, not playing the game. So we know what's going on. We have information on both players.
That's true.
At the table, they don't have that.
So the thing about it here, too, is George can actually probably take the 7... Well, actually, that's only if he had Take Vengeance. He does not have that anymore. He has Knight of the Tusk, which is a 3/7. He has...
Knight of the Tusk costs 6 also, doesn't it?
It costs 6, yeah.
So
Let's see, what else does he have?
he has the Sky March.
The Sky Marcher to Drain.
He's got 6 mana, so he can cast Knight of the Tusk.
Does Ernest have a hand? I don't think
No,
Ernest has a hand,
Ernest is
right?
played out.
Okay. So if Ernest is hellbent here.
So he's going for flyers.
So he drain, so it goes 16 to 17.
The Sky Marcher makes sense. Right now the ground is very well clogged up.
2, 4, 5, 7. Okay, so George can block with 4 creatures. And that'll be 2, 4, 5. He can block with 4 creatures on the ground. And he would lose 3. So this is like a time, for example, if Ernest is going to attack here, I wouldn't play a card. Like, I would hold up the card representing a combat trick.
Now, Ernest right now has to be attacking. He has to be on the aggressive side because every turn George is gaining life.
Yes.
From the Leona.
So I was just about to say that, is that if Ernest decides not to take an active approach here, and he'll eventually lose to the drain effect and the flyer. Yeah. And now that George is able to basically build a second wall with a 3/7 Knight of the Tusk, Ernest is just going to be taking 3 a turn, and that's like a Delver clock if anybody's familiar with Legacy. 3 a turn plus George is gaining life, so so Ernest is going to have a lot of trouble getting through unless he could figure out a way to have a combat trick or play through the board.
Now at this point, even if Ernest had not spent the Mighty Leap, looking at the lands on Ernest's side versus the lands and spells on George's side, it's coming down to Ernest is getting flooded again.
Yep.
Propane just played someone in a draft with 3 planeswalkers.
Ooh, are you trying out the new arena stress test? I tried to do it when they stress tested this morning, and they broke their servers in the first minute, and it never came back up until I came to F&M. So not sure if it's up again or what they're doing, but they succeeded in breaking their servers on literally the first second.
That was their goal.
Yeah, I think 1 minute in, servers were broken.
Alright, so he has the
Guardian, I believe?
Yeah.
The Guardian and land. And so George will just slowly come on through the air, and with his drain effect, should be able to do 3 a turn to Ernest, and Ernest is on a 5-turn clock. He won't be able to get through anything on the ground because the Ghostbark twins can block more than one creature on the ground, so that there's so many favorable blocks for Ernest. But unless something changes in the air, Ernest is on a clock that is not favorable to him at all.
It's gonna take a while, but yeah, this game's turning the wrong way for Ernest.
Dang, Propane. Liliana's not that good though, unless you have zombies. It's not great. Vivian and Tezzeret, however, are the real deal in limited.
You might not have been with us earlier, Propane. Alex is hating on the Core 2019 Liliana.
No, only in limited because you need zombies to activate her.
He's hating on her.
Oh, see, if she was a bear in limited, she'd be a bad bear.
Are you calling Liliana a bad bear?
Only in limited.
Oh no.
I mean, you need zombies to do stuff, and you won't necessarily get zombies in sealed. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of zombies.
There's not plenty of zombies in limited, and you have to get them. That's the problem.
Well, if
It's
you're
sealed,
taking
especially.
Liliana, nobody else is taking them.
Well, that's not true.
So you're telling me you're drafting Walking Corpse?
No. Not
Okay,
unless
so you're getting all the zombies.
Not unless I have Death Baron, but someone could have Death Baron or Graveyard Marshal, both of which would put me at the zombies.
Somebody could also have Gallant Cavalry, like both Ernest and George.
It looks like Ernest attacked with the...
I think he sees that George's side is getting out of control.
Yep.
This 7/7 attacking is going to force multiple creatures.
So the 7/7 is getting triple blocked, which will take out the Ghostbark twins. That's 7 power there.
The 3/7 Knight of the Tusk, an obvious blocker.
Yep, the 2/3 takes out the 2/2 Gallant Cavalry. So all three, basically the entirety of Ernest's board dies on the field here.
Yeah.
Unless he has a combat trick, which I don't think he has any hand, so he's not representing. When he goes back and looks at this, he might also consider that same turn he had a land that he played, and there's no reason for him to necessarily play the land because he doesn't need it, and his opponent now can feel safe in blocking.
Once you reach the point where you have enough lands in play to cast your most expensive spell,
yeah,
or to represent multiple spells in one turn,
correct.
Every other land that you draw represents a card that your opponent doesn't know.
Yeah, it's just the only thing you can do is use it as a card to hold up against your opponent.
Yeah.
And doing that is more valuable than playing a land you'll never use.
Now, after you've missed a few land drops, they know.
Yes. But,
okay, you're holding lands.
But until then, there's no reason
Yeah.
not to do that. Yeah, agreed. So with Ernest's board ravaged quite a bit. It looks
George is swinging back.
Yeah, George is coming in, and he's leaving mana up for the drain. He has a 2/3 that'll block favorably with the 2/2s.
And now George holding a card in hand.
Yep. So
that's a 4/4 against a 3/7.
Yep, and so that comes in for 3/5 in the air. So now we're on a 6 damage. Oh no, he'll block there. Okay, he'll double block. That's a 3/5, so that won't actually take care of the Guardian. That will actually just lose Ernest one night, unfortunately.
He might be double blocking in case there's a trick. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
But... okay, so either way, he only loses one creature.
I think he
Guardian
thought
lives.
it was a 3/4.
It's understandable too. The set's
Yep.
new.
Yep.
Not a card you see all the time. And he takes 2 from the Blood Marcher.
What that does do is it makes Ernest board one less creature, so George will be able to swing one more wide. The Druid of the Cowl will help a little
Gains
bit.
him a life.
Yep. But now George, I believe, still has a...
He's going to drain.
Yep, he still has a 2-turn clock now.
Yeah. And Ernest again with no hand. Now
Yep.
George holding the land in hand, which represents anything.
Yep. Yikes.
3 Planeswalkers and 2 Death Barons.
Ooh,
No. Is this a new opponent?
Is the Departed Deckhand making the Infectious Horror unblockable? Because that's gross. Because that's 4 a turn that you can't do anything about. 6 if you include the Departed Deckhand. I lost a lot on turn 4 or 5 against mono blue aggro. I know it sounds weird.
In standard or limited?
Limited.
Huh.
Blue has a solid aggro deck with Departed Deckhand.
That doesn't seem like a card you're going to pass.
Yeah, like...
It's a pretty strong uncommon.
Yeah, so if someone goes like Departed Deckhand, like Exclusion Mage, other blue flyer, you just kind of die in 4 turns.
Yeah. Alright, so Ernest taking another 2 from the Vampire.
Yep.
Then hoping to draw something off the top.
Yeah, he needs something like Cleansing Nova here.
Cleansing Nova, exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only sweeper in this set is Cleansing Nova, and especially in these colors. So it's just going to be a slow roll down unless you can find something like that to take care of these things. Because there's no longer any way that he can make favorable blocks because he's down about 5 creatures.
Yeah.
I know Tusk will block.
Passes the turn back.
Yep.
So I didn't see what he drew, but I'm guessing it was not a Cleansing Nova.
I don't believe so, no.
Pretty sure we would have seen it. There's the demon.
Oh, Demon Catastrophes.
Sacrifices Shieldmare. Interesting.
Shieldmare, actually, you could have sacrificed the Leonin.
That's what I was looking at, the 2-2.
Yeah, the 2-2. Other than that, it's not the worst thing I've seen.
Either way, he gets a 6/6 flyer.
Yeah. And Ernest's Clock. And more importantly, I believe the demon has trample as well.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton left. Unless this next card is Cleansing Nova, this should be it.
That's the only card that isn't out.
Yeah. I believe the only out Ernest has is Cleansing Nova, and that's Artificer, I believe. On this.
No, it's not the Artificer.
No? What is that?
Oh, the race is on. Race is on.
If that's Cleansing Nova, no.
No, it's not Cleansing Nova.
Oh, that's a Johnny's Last Stand. Don't worry, Jake didn't get it. I got it for us. A Johnny's Last Stand.
Okay. That would have helped him.
Yeah,
give him a 4/4 flyer avatar.
But he had to get it earlier.
Yeah, when he was blocking.
Yeah.
Ernest, show us what the bomb was. What were you building towards? Oh,
Cleansing
yeah,
Nova.
the Cleansing Nova.
He did have it. Oh, there you go. He was looking for it.
Oh, that would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Well played, George.
Well played to both of them.